It's the Friday of the Mexican Grand Prix, and while we had all the fun and frolics in Cowboy Town in Austin, Texas a week ago, it's time to get down to business at Sergio Perez's home Grand Prix. But what will befall of Red Bull, Mercedes, and of course the flying Ferraris around Mexico City? Well, before we get to the action on track, let's dive into a little bit of news as we build up ahead of the big racing weekend. Alpine F1 have won their protest against Fernando Alonso's penalty at the American Grand Prix in Austin, Texas last weekend. Haas had protested the fact that Alonso had finished the race a week ago without being penalised for having damaged bodywork hanging off the car before one of his wing mirrors fell off the vehicle and onto the circuit. Haas driver Kevin Magnussen has been penalised 3 times in similar scenarios this season already by the stewards on track, but Alonso was able to take the checkered flag without any intervention. After a post-race protest from Haas to the stewards that was delivered 24 minutes after the deadline for such protests, Alonso was handed a 30-second time penalty, taking the Alpine driver out of the point-scoring positions. However, Alpine have countered that protest, saying that the protest from Haas came late and should not have been considered. The stewards initially rejected this, so the French constructor went to the FIA International Court of Appeal, resulting in a lengthy video call on Thursday involving parties from Alpine, Haas and the stewards as the situation was reviewed. Due to the wording in the regulations that an extension to the 30-minute deadline for a post-race protest is only permissible if it is deemed impossible to register a protest within the required time limit, the American constructors' protest wasn't deemed valid, with the penalty against Alonso now being thrown out, although the stewards have noted the worry that no action was taken against the Spaniard during the race when the wing mirror was hanging loose, and action I'm sure will be taken fast in the future on track. Elsewhere, Max Verstappen has ruled out handing a race win to teammate Sergio Perez should the pair be first and second in the dying laps of the Mexican Grand Prix this weekend. Red Bull are expected to do well at a track that Verstappen has won 3 of his last 4 visits to, but the home faithful want to see their countryman Sergio Perez on the top step of the podium. The Mexican driver was 3rd on the podium last season, creating ecstasy in the stands in Mexico City, while the fans and Checo himself would love to see Perez become the first Mexican winner of the event. But Verstappen, who is 1 race win away from the record for most race wins in a season, has shut down the idea of handing his teammate a victory on Sunday. As a team, we always want to try to be first and second, and as a driver, I want to win more races, said the Dutchman. I still want to win the races, so I'm here to do the best I can. It's a bit more relaxing, but I know that once I sit in the car, I always want the best. When offered the hypothetical situation of him leading Perez on the final lap, Verstappen added, "I'm winning." That's the scenario. Remember, of course, throughout the weekend, you can follow all of the action on GPFans.com and GPFans Global on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well.